Hi everyone, this is Heather, and today I've got a card tutorial for you to show you how I made this adorable little lion front and back card. So from the front of the card, he's peeking out through a little circle. When you open up the card, you can see him from behind. Isn't that cute? I am using some brand new products from the 2017 Stampin Up catalog that has just been released, and this is the stamp set called A Little Wild, and it has super cute animals from the fronts and the backs. There is a little bear, the lion that we're going to use today, and an elephant, lots of cute words and some little accessories that you can add to them. And it's made for tags, but I thought this would make a really cute inside out kind of front and back card. I'm also using the coordinating die set, the Little Love Framelits dies that cuts out the animals, some of the accessories, and there's also a pretty little kind of leaf border that goes with that. So those work together. So what you're gonna need is a just standard size white sheet of cardstock. I just took an 8.5 by 11 and cut it in half, and I've already scored and folded it. And then this paper is also new from Stampin Up, and it is from the Whole Lot of Lovely, just want to get that name right, designer series paper packet. It's got this pretty pink flowers on one side, but I thought this green and white junk kind of leaves looked kind of good for a jungle, and that would work really nicely with the lion. Then I've also just got a piece of paper, and mine is 3 by about 4.5. This is to stamp the lion on. And then I've pre-die cut a circle from the Stitch Shapes Framelits dies. See if you can see those little stitches on there, and this is the smallest. And the Stitch Shapes, that's hard to say, the Stitch Shapes have oval circles and squares with the little stitches on it, and this is what the die looks like. So I've pre-die cut that shape. You're also going to need some green ink, some black ink. I'm using Memento because I am using some alcohol markers. I've just got various brands and colors that worked for this project. Adhesive, scissors, and then either some washi tape or some repositionable tape just to keep your dies in place. So again, this is the card. And so what we're going to do is, like I said, I've already folded my card in half, and now I am going to put adhesive on my pattern paper, and you want to just put it on the edges, and you'll see why in just a second. We don't want any adhesive in the middle. So I'm just going to take my tape runner and apply adhesive to my paper. Oh, and if I didn't say, this is 4 by 5.25, and we're just going to center that on top of the card. And now we're going to take the second largest, or second size up, second size of the Stitched Shapes circle dies, and we're going to place it face down on the card wherever we want that opening to be. And then I'm going to take a little piece of my repositionable tape. You can use washi tape, any kind of low tack tape, just so that it doesn't tear your paper. I'm going to figure out where you want that circle to be and tape that in place. And off to the side here, I've got my, let's see if I can pull it over. I have my Sizzix Big Shot. And I'm using a Genesis platform. You can use the dies that come, or the plates rather, that come with it. So I'm just laying this all together. So I have the die taped down to the paper, to the card. So I'm cutting through both layers of the paper with the die taped in place. I'm sandwiching that down and I'm gonna run it through. Sorry if that shakes the camera a little bit. Gonna run that through, and then I like to run it back again just to make sure that, especially since we're cutting through more than one layer, that that's cut all the way through. And now you can see we've got that circle cut. Let me get my plates out of the way here. And so you just want to carefully peel that off. So now we have the circle cut through both layers through the front of the card. And we're gonna take that tape off really carefully, set the die off to the side. And now we have two pieces of paper, which is why we didn't adhere them together so we don't have so much bulk. So set this little white piece aside for a project later on. And now we're going to adhere the circle that we just cut to the inside of our card. So if you can line it up, it will look a little bit nicer. So, and it's easy to do if you keep your card closed. Let's see if we can figure out. Okay, so after a little bit of fidgeting and spinning around, I figured out which way it needs to go. So I've got adhesive on the back, and I'm just going to see how I've kind of lined up the design there. Just gonna push that down so that it's adhered to the inside of the card. And I did that just so that it gave the card a little bit of a fuller look and there wasn't this big white open circle behind the little lion there. So now we're going to take our black ink with the circle die cut, the little stitch die cut, and we're going to stamp the words in the center. Wild About You. And now we're going to ink up the lion. And like I said, I'm using Memento Black because I'm using alcohol ink markers. But you can use whatever you want, colored pencils, watercolors, just make sure you're using the right ink for it. And this doesn't need to be lined up in any particular way because we're going to use the die cut and cut it out. So there's my little lion. So these dies are made for tags. I don't think I said that in the beginning. It actually already has a little loop on here so that you can fold it over and make a cute little gift tag. But like I said, we're going to cut this apart so that it is the front and the back. So real quick, I'm going to color in our lion, and I use kind of a pale tan color for the body of the lion, and I'm leaving the inside of the ears and the nose uncolored. And we actually don't need to color in the whole front body of the lion, just a little bit of the tail here because we're going to be cutting that section away. Color the back of his body real quick. It's one of the things I love about alcohol markers is they color very, very quickly. So I've got that. And then I'm going to take some pink and do the inside of his ears and his nose. And then take this kind of darker tan color and color in the tip of his tail and his mane in the same color. Careful not to bleed in too much. So I'm just doing this really quickly. You can take your time at home. So just coloring in the front. Turn it over and do the mane. So really quick and easy coloring. You could add more detail and shading and stuff if you would like. I just wanted this to be kind of quick and easy. Okie doke. All right, so now he has some color on him. As you can see, I left most of this part uncolored because we are not going to need that. And now we're going to take the die cut shape and some more of our repositionable tape. And sorry if you see my shadow. So we're going to line this up and, oops, put it face down first of all and get it going in the right direction. And so you just want to make sure that you can see enough of the white edge kind of all the way around that die. And you want to put a little adhesive at the top and at the bottom just so that it doesn't slip. So I've got that taped in place. And I'm going to move my die cut machine back over real quick. And put that on my platform. And run this back through the die cutting machine. Again, sorry if it's shaking. Okay. So again, ran that back through twice just to make sure that it gives me a nice neat cut. And check and make sure that everything cut really well. I'm going to kind of carefully peel that tape up. And there we have our cute little lion. So normally you could fold it over and make a really adorable tag, but for our purposes today, we are going to cut this apart. So on the front side, I'm just going to kind of follow along the top part of the mane and snip that away. And then I'm also going to cut away his body, so just a little bit down on the tail. I'm going to snip that off, and oh no, I'm going to cut his head off. I'm sorry, little lion, you'll be okay. And so I'm going to, actually, instead of leaving a white border, I kind of followed along the lines of the mane, just so it looks more like he's peeking over the edge. So we don't need that little piece. So he should look like that. So leave just a little bit of his tail and cut along that, and then we've cut the top part off as well. And then do the same on the top piece here. We're going to follow along the lines of the stamp and cut that little circle off where it would turn itself into a tag. So it looks like that. And now we're going to go back to our card. And so we're going to put a little bit of adhesive just on the very bottom part of his mane. It's really just to kind of hold it in place until we get the other piece attached. So I'm going to take my tape runner and put just a small little amount there. Get my card front here, and you're going, this is the only kind of fiddly bit. You're going to kind of tuck part of the tail back behind there like so. I hope you could see that. So just this little bit right here, just you want to tuck that in just a little bit and have the rest of his mane and a hanging off so it looks like he's peeking over the circle there. Then we're going to open up our card and put adhesive on the back of his back, the back of his back. And now we're going to line this up, haha, as best we can to get those two pieces together like that. If yours doesn't look very good, you can still kind of go in with your scissors and sort of fix that along the top. So now you have his back, but this kind of looked like he was just sort of floating in midair. So I took the grass stamp and some Pear Pizzazz ink just to give him a little bit of grass on either side. And stamp that out. You can put as much grass as you want. And then on the front, we're going to adhere the words that we stamped and die cut earlier. And there's our card. Isn't that cute? So much fun. I think that turned out really sweet. Really appreciate you joining me today. And I hope you enjoyed taking a look at some of the brand new products from the 2017 Stampin' Up! Catalog. I had so much fun working with them. And let me know what you thought about this card. And I appreciate you joining me today. Thank you so much. And this is Heather. I'll see you next time. Bye.